Hello and welcome to another C3 Stingray video. Today we're going to take the gas tank off a C4 Corvette. This is an 89 Corvette. First you need to take the rear bumper off, which I did in another video. I didn't want to repeat myself, so if you want to watch that video first on how to take the rear bumper off and then come back to this to continue with the gas tank, that would probably be your best bet. But let's get into it. Now it's essential that you take your rear bumper cover off first. I have another video that shows how to take the bumper cover off, so you might want to check that out. And you also need to drain the gas out of this tank as much as you can, either run it out or siphon it out. Whatever you can do to get as much of the gas out of it as you can. Now here I'm taking off the license plate light. You just simply grab, twist, and pull. And this plug here goes to the fuel pump. It's inside the fuel tank. You want to disconnect that. I didn't show myself disconnecting, I guess because I was only using one hand, but make sure you disconnect that plug. It's essential. Now I'm taking the fuel lines off. I have hose clamps on this one, and I'm being kind of rough with it because it's a parts car. I really don't care. You probably want to be a little more careful. Yours probably has the squeeze clamps on it if it's original. But these hose clamps are on this one. Once you get this main line off and the return line, you want to take off that evap line that's on the other side. You can't really see what I'm doing there, so here's a little photo. I'm taking that off right there. That has the squeeze clamp on it. So you want to make sure that's off. Next you need your 19mm socket, and you want to loosen your spare tire cover enough where you can pull that out to lower the spare tire. Mine's really rusty and doesn't really want to move. Now I'm taking off the spare tire cover hangers. There's two 13mm bolts. Now, as I said, this is a parts car, so I'm taking all this stuff off. I mean, this cover kind of fell off after that, so you really wouldn't have had to take this one off if you didn't want to, but I'm taking everything off. Now next up is the exhaust. As you can see, mine's not an emissions controlled exhaust. My catalytic converter is missing. Your catalytic converter should be right there. And I'm taking off these two 13mm bolts. Yours might be a different size, I'm not sure. And disconnecting it from there. Next there's a hanger behind there. And once again, you might be able to disconnect it right from the hanger. Mine, you couldn't. The exhausts are going to be a little different. You'll just have to do what you got to do to take yours off. See, I have two 13mm bolts with nuts on it. I'm having to take loose to get this hanger off. But it's just way easier. Well, you're going to have to take, if you're wanting to take your gas tank completely off, you're going to have to remove this back section of the exhaust to get to it. And normally it's not too bad. And there the exhaust is falling down. Now we got the two hangers in the back, which it should just slide in. If yours is original, it should just slide into the slots. Like that one I just pushed out. The other one is kind of contorted, so I couldn't push it out, so I had to get down underneath and pull it out. And now the exhaust is out of the way. Now we have the grounding straps. It's like these cables that wrap around the gas tank and go to the sway bar. There's two 13mm nuts that hold that on, and you have to take these off because you will not get this off of here without removing those straps. You don't have to take the straps off the gas tank, but you have to disconnect them from that sway bar. There's two more 13mm on the other side. Same, another strap. Well, it's more of a cable than a strap, I guess, but it's called a grounding cable. Now we're up to the support itself. There's four 15mm bolts holding the support on each side. Now as you can see, I put my floor jack underneath there. I used the spare tire to kind of support the whole gas tank. You probably should do that before you even start, even taking the other side off. So that way it won't drop down once you take all 8 bolts out. Now I'm moving all the wiring that goes to the lights and getting it out of the way, so when I drop the tank down I don't rip anything. And here's where I ran into my problem. Well, this is a little problem here. First off, it was kind of stuck. I had to kind of break it loose. And then when I dropped it, as you can see, it fell sideways. And it shouldn't fall like that. It should fall straight down. There's one spot that I'd forgotten about. There's the gas line was connected to the back down by the strap, as you can see here in this photo. Right there, whatever that connector is, holding the gas line right there, and that's what was making it flip. This one's so rusted and you can't even tell if that was a screw, a bolt, or what. It's just completely disintegrated. And once again, it's a parts car, so I'm just cutting the line. But before you drop your tank, make sure you get under there and make sure there isn't anything holding your gas line anywhere. Make sure it's all disconnected before you try to drop the tank so you don't mess up your gas lines. But the gas tank is now off. And I was thinking, I'm done, the video's over. But then the next day, the temperature dropped. And I was thinking, man, I didn't show them how to take the gas tank off of the support. So there's the two straps that have to come off to get that gas tank off the support. There's two 15mm nuts holding that on. Now, I soaked these with WD-40 because there's a mishap that goes on. I'd say happens at least 50% of the time I've taken straps off any gas tank, you know, C3 or C4. Now, I'm using the Impact, the 15mm deep socket, and that one came right off. Now this one did what happens to me quite a bit. The nut won't come off, it freezes up, and then the strap twists. You'll see it in a minute. It just starts twisting. There you can see how it just twisted the strap because the nut wouldn't come loose. I don't know if I would do that instead of using an Impact. Maybe if I just did it with a ratchet it wouldn't happen. But so now I'm going to have to take the straps off. Now the straps are held on by a T40 Torx screw. You just simply take that screw out, slide it forward to get it off that little holding place there, and your strap is off. It's a T40 Torx. So if you're wanting to replace those straps, which this one's going to need to be replaced, you can get them on my website at c3stingray.com. It's probably around $40, including shipping. And if you're replacing your tank, you might as well replace those straps too if you're having issues with them. But if you're careful, you should be able to get them off without screwing them up like I did. And there is the finished product. The gas tank is completely removed. Well, hopefully you found that video of some help. It seems to be a really convoluted way to get a gas tank off a car, but hey, it's just the way it is. I have a lot of how-to videos for C3, C4, and C5 Corvettes. I got a lot more coming up. I'm going to be putting an interior in this 84. I got a dismantle this 89 and a 96, and I also have a couple 76s I'm trying to put together, so I have a 76 to drive next summer. A lot of stuff coming up, and a lot of other stuff I'm not even gonna bother getting into, but there's a lot of videos coming up, so be sure to subscribe. I'm trying to reach that 1,000 subscriber mark, and I'm getting close, and I really appreciate everyone who's subscribed so far, and hopefully you will too. And I guess that's it. If you need used parts and even new parts for your C3, and I have parts for C4 and C5 at my website, c3stingray.com. And that is it. Okay, see you on the road.